How's everyone doing? Good. All right, you guys are really quiet. I'm not quiet, but that's okay. So I'm really glad to be here. I also, in 2008, was Miss Washington Plus America, so that was fun. And I will be going back as a large delegate this summer, competing again for the title of Miss Plus America. So wish me luck, and I'll be definitely listening to some of your tips and getting some amazing photography. So hopefully that'll help. But I was asked to speak about a couple of things, and the first one was confidence, and the second one is going to be the inside scoop from the judge's perspective. So what I believe confidence means is the ability to believe in yourself, and that's really what confidence is. And there's a cliche that says confidence comes from within, you know, it's all about the inside out, and that is kind of true, but really it's actually external things. And those are external experiences, people you associate with, and your perception of yourself. Examples of external experiences would be pageants, other types of competitions, your home life environment, school, and job. Good example is I was judging a pageant, and there was a young lady, because of a home situation, not only was late, she was very frazzled, and it showed. And I actually had judged this girl before, so I knew how confident that she usually is and how she carries herself. But in that particular interview, it affected her because of whatever happened. It was out of her control. And this girl was probably maybe 8 or 9 years old, so clearly it was probably another factor that had nothing to do with her. And as a result, it affected her performance, and she wasn't able to be as confident and as articulate as she usually is. So definitely, home environment, places that you put yourself in have a huge effect on your confidence, for the good or for the bad. The next would be association. Who you associate with. Who do you allow to speak in your life? When I'm talking about confidence, I'm saying in general, we can definitely project the temporary confidence on stage that may or may not fool a certain type of judge. But I'm talking about an overall general confidence that flows with you when you're on the stage, when you're off the stage, when you're at school, when you're in your jeans, doing an impromptu walk across the stage. It's that overall confidence that I'm talking about here. So who are you allowing to impart in your life? What do they say to you? Do they build you up, or do they tear you down? You have someone that is constructively critical, or are they just critical? There's a difference. Do they tell you the truth, or do they let you embarrass yourself and ultimately fail? There is a lot of, and unfortunately it's usually the adults that are playing a role in the pageant industry, but where they might be giving advice to another parent or another person they're competing against, and it's not the truth. It's to set them up for failure. So make sure that you are using some discernment as far as who you're listening to and who you're putting yourself around. Also, parents, guardian, named pageant people, or pageant moms, however you want to call it, you guys, especially if you're not an adult, I see there's pretty much minors that are in here that are competing in pageants. If your child, the person that's competing, ultimately they look to you. And it's your responsibility to make, you can make or break this experience for them. If you are trying to live vicariously through your child, you need to stop. Because it's going to affect their performance ultimately. You can do a pageant. I'm in a plus size pageant. I've had some kids. There's opportunities for you if you need to do that. But do not do it through your children. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm saying if you want what's best for them and you want them to be able to walk out in that full confidence, saying, you know what, regardless of what happens, my mom's going to be okay with me. I'm not going to get in trouble because, oh my gosh, I let my sponsors down, or mommy and daddy put all this money in this gown, now I'm ruined, and she's going to make me walk, you know, a thin line with my foot one foot in front of the other for the rest of the night. You know, that type of pressure, number one, should not be put on a child. And number two, I guess I'm kind of speaking with parents here more so, because you play more of a role in your child's ability to exude confidence than you think. And if they know they have you, that you have their back ultimately, they're going to do so much better. They're going to be able to say, you know what, no matter what happens up here, I'm going to do my best, but regardless, I know at least one person that has my back, and that's going to be my parent. So it's definitely important that you do that. Good questions to ask yourself, parents, if you want to know if you're pressuring, unnecessarily pressuring your child, or not supporting the building of their confidence. Because I believe that pageants, which has done this for me, is actually a building process. I believe that a lot of the girls that are in here are probably grooming themselves to be a part of ultimately the America program or the USA program. These are grooming, these are learning experiences. Yes, the NAM titles and the international world titles are absolutely amazing. I was blown away by the community service that these girls do. I'm just like, wow, they do more than I do. I need to step it up. So definitely, they're very important. But these questions would be, are your expectations reasonable? If you have a 7-year-old, have 7-year-old expectations of them. Is she having fun? Reevaluate why you have her in pageants. If it's for you, then you need to stop and start getting your own pageant. How do you react when she wins or when she loses? If you are, okay, honey, you did your best, you know, that's great. Or if you're like, so-and-so, you know, exactly. Or you get mad at the director and all that other stuff, cut it out. Your kids are looking at you. You know, I mean, ultimately, they need to be having a good time. And again, that affects their confidence. If they see every time that they don't win a pageant, that mommy gets mad and she's mad and that pageant system's horrible all of a sudden, but it was so great when they were entering and gave their fee, that's going to rub off, and it's called inconsistency, and kids, we all know, do not do well in inconsistent environments. Also, are you setting your child up for failure? And what I mean by that is, a good example of NAM. The same book, I was a NAM judge 2 years in a row, and we get the same book and qualifications we get, you guys get. So if you know that you're supposed to wear some type of shoe, whatever, sitting your child on the stage in a party wear dress and tennis shoes is setting her up for failure. So making sure that you do your part. Unfortunately, children do not have their own say in what they wear. It's the parent that dictates what they wear, regardless of what anyone says or the coach says or it's recommended. And as a result, the child has to wear whatever the parent says. So that's just an example, but don't set your child up for failure. Whatever is within your control, what the judges decide is not in your control, but what is within your control, okay. I said already, clothing choices, and also making sure that your acceptance and affirmation is not contingent on if they win or not. That should not be, and I know again, girls, I'm talking to your moms and dads, but usually they're the ones who mostly fund you in these pageants, and they're probably the ones that either are encouraging you to do it, making you do it, or, you know, there's something, they have a huge role in that. So it's really important, and that's why I'm talking to you today. Okay, so that was my lecture to the parent. And I mean, ultimately, for the kids to believe in themselves, you have to believe in yourself, parents. And you have to believe that whatever you instill in your child, whether it's that exceptional equality, actually did translate onto a child. If you feel like you're lacking something in your life, don't push that on your child. That all plays a role in their confidence and their ability to perform and to do well in a pageant. They know, like I said, you guys, I cannot say enough. If you have their back, my father actually, he recently passed, but he was like my biggest cheerleader ever. And I knew that. He used to always say, honey, there's nothing you can do to make me stop loving you. Absolutely nothing. I said, Dad, if I said, Dad, I want to start a salon on the moon, he'd be like, go for it, honey. You know, you can do it, you know. I mean, literally, he was that guy. I mean, it was totally unrealistic to do it, you know. But for the most part, he was very supportive. And as a result, I was able to do things that I never thought I would do. You know, who says that a plus-size single mom can't do pageants? Well, the media, the world, society. And guess what? I did it anyway. So that's how your girls and people that are that you're impacting can actually do things that they never expected to do. And that's you believing in yourself, and as a result, your child will learn to believe. So they're learning from what you do, not what you tell them to do. Okay?